So yeah, let's go ahead and hop into it. So the order, I want to go in nation order. So it's going to be Dragon Empire, Dark States, Brantgate, Keter, and then Stoicheia bringing up the rear as the 5 nations. So we have 25 cards to talk about. But before we do that, I'm going to count my tabs, make sure I got 25 cards. Because that'd be embarrassing. But this is my opinion, my personal opinion. Because when I'm looking at the top cards, I'm looking at things in a vacuum, so to speak, and like potential. But also I'm looking at it and what it can do to improve the power of the decks that they're trying to be put into. So it's like a little bit of both, playing both sides of the fence there. And we have Strong Fortress Dragon Jibra Brachio. And he says, act on rearguard if your Vanguard is Eugene. Soul Blast 1 and rest it. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire it. Then at the start of the battle of your battle phase, if your opponent has 1 or less rearguard, stand this unit and it gets plus 5,000 power. And this is my number 5 card because I think this is the best support card that Eugene got in the set. Being able to use that soul, which Eugene can gather up as a resource to rest itself down, pop something. And then it's fairly easy to get your opponent down to 1 or less rearguard with the combination of Jibber Brachio, Eugene itself, and other retire components to be able to restand it at the start of your battle phase to become a 15k body. So in my mind, that's really good for Eugene. It gives another power piece that he kind of needed. That way everything doesn't rely on what's his name? Oshikuni from set 1 to 15k beater, which if your opponent has 2 or less rear guards. So not everything falls on Oshikuni to be your power piece, and you can put more to Jibber Brachio. Number 4, Horn of Blessing. Normal order, it says to play this card, you have to discard a card with the Overdress ability, and then you draw 2 cards. This is very useful for looking for Elgar in the set, which is another Trickstar evolution, another Overdress evolution piece, and it helps you get rid of access Overdress units that you might not be able to use. Useful for ditching maybe that Virina that you searched off of your ride line when you ride up to Nirvana. You can get it for free. You can play Horn of Blessing, chuck it, and then see if you can find Elgar or Valiente or whatever other piece you might be needing. I think it's solid enough to be a potential inclusion. Personally, I haven't seen a lot of decks that I've played against use it, but it's out there and it has good synergy with what the deck is trying to accomplish and trying to find particular Overdress units within a certain window. And it's free, so if you have a counter blast, you need it, you can pitch it, draw into arcs, Overdress arcs, draw 2 more cards. So being free is a big reason for it being pretty good. Number 3, Dragon Monk Gojo, which is part of the encounter situation. Part of the encounter cards, we got this set with Dragon, Dragonic Overlord, and Peanut Butter Dragon, aka Phantom Blaster Dragon. It says when this unit hits while it's on rear guard and it boosts the Vanguard. That's not at all what it says. When the attack this unit boosted a Vanguard hits, that's really weird wording. That's really strange wording. When the attack this unit boosted a Vanguard hits. So basically, if it's boosting Vanguard and it hits, you retire it and countercharge 1. They need to fix that wording. Good lord, that's confusing. I put it here as the number 3 card because it's generic. A potential thing to keep in mind for Dragon Empire decks going into the future because of that. And all in all, it's just a nice little generic piece. Tuck it behind Vanguard, let it boost up, and then if you need the countercharge, then you can just cycle it off and get the countercharge back. All in all, it's a pretty decent card. Number 2, Stealth Dragon. I'm gonna butcher this name. Togachirashi. I think that's what it is. Stealth Dragon, Togachirashi. I'm close. It's auto. When this card is discarded from your hand during your turn, you may put this card into your soul. So this is really useful for, it's useful for Eugene to help put some soul in. And not like Eugene needs it, but you can use it if it's if you think you need it. But it's more useful in the Overdress deck because Elgar demands a couple counter blasts to be, or soul blasts to be useful. And then it allows you to recharge base Virina for the Soul Blast 2 ability to pop something, which might be useful if you're going against something that demands some more attention, maybe like a Bastion or a Bruce or anything that's troublesome. that needs to be get off the board to make sure that your game plan can keep steamrolling. But being able to use his skill to put himself into the soul helps you fulfill those costs a little bit easier, and it makes an easy card to use for your ride deck. It's also useful for Nirvana because you can pitch it to get Trickstar back on the board and let it go right into your soul to feed your Elgar, your Virina, things like that. So that's why I think it's the second best card that they received in the set. As if it's no surprise at all, Virina Elgar. I refuse to call it Elgar. I hate the English translation of this name. I'm not gonna call it Elgar. It's way too close to Ermagerd, but here we are. Elgar, forever Elgar. He says, overdress on Trickstar, specifically on Trickstar. Hand, at the end of the battle that your Trickstar attacked a Vanguard, if your Vanguard is Nirvana, Soul Blast 2, overdress this unit on your Trickstar as stand and countercharge 1. And then continuous on rear guard or guard circle. If this unit is in the overdress state, this unit gets plus 10,000 power and then plus 10,000 shield. So this card does a lot for the overdress deck in that it enables a lot of multi-attacking, especially when you combine it with the monk that came in the set, the grade 3 monk. But it enables 4 and 5 attack combination that you can do in the overdress deck. And then it allows you to get a counter charge in, which means it helps, it covers the role that kind of plagued overdress in set 1 that had no ability to counter charge. So if you're low on, it's like if your opponent tries to damage starve you, you can still be able to pop off with Virina Elgar to overdress it and then counter charge 1 to enable Nirvana's counterblast 1 skill on attack. So nice synergy going on there. And then defensively, it can become a 15k shield, which 15k shields are pretty much a premium because it enables you to just be able to defend yourself a little bit longer to help get you to the end game that you might be trying to strive for. So to me, those are the 5 best cards in Dragon Empire. If I'm thinking about an honorable mention, I guess the aforementioned monk, which names escape me, but it's the at the end of battle that it attacks, you can counterblast 1, soul blast 1, call out a grade 0, and then pop one of your opponent's rear guards. So that helps enable your multi-attack chain going on. But yeah, those are the 5 best cards from for Dragon Empire, in my opinion.